Hello all. In the previous class, we have discussed ascertaining the ratios, which was dealing with only the current assets ratio, quick assets, and as well as the asset test ratio. So today we will discuss about the turnover action or the activity ratios, which is also called as certain equity ratio. Along with that, we will learn about the proprietary ratio. Okay. So here in the previous in the previous video that we have discussed with this information, that is for your understanding, a business has a current ratio of 3 is to 1 and the quick ratio is 1.2 is to 1 if the working capital. So here the working capital is given. So you need to calculate whenever there is a working capital, they will compulsory ask you to find out the current assets as well as the current liability, because it is a hint. Working capital is a hint to find out the current assets as well as the current liability. So, and also the value of stock is given. So, working capital formula is current assets will be deducted from the current liability. So, 1,80,000 as working capital is given. So, I told you whenever there is a current ratio of 3 is to 1, 3 goes on for the current assets and 1 goes on with the current liability. So, 3 minus 1 gives you 2. So if 1,80,000 is for the ratio 2, then what will be the current assets for 3? So cross multiply, so you'll get the current assets. In the same way, proceed for the current liability, you'll get the same value. Okay. So now the 12th question also goes on with the same. Here the stock is given and current ratio and the quick ratio is given. If the excess of current assets over the quick assets are represented by stock is rupees 60,000. So they have specified stock as excess of current assets over the quick assets, which means current assets minus quick assets gives you the stock. Obviously, right? So current assets includes all the assets, whereas the quick assets includes all the assets except the stock as well as except the prepaid expenses. So current assets minus quick assets gives you the stock. Stock information is given and current assets as well as the quick assets information is given. So as it is an asset, the first portion of the ratio goes on for the assets. Always remember the first portion is goes on for the assets. The second goes on for the liability. Clear? So 3.5 minus 1.5 gives you 2 as a stock. So when 60,000 goes for the 2, you have to find out the quick assets. They have asked you to find out the quick assets. So find out what will be for 1.5 of assets. So quick assets goes on for the 45,000. In the same way, find out the current assets as well as the current liability. So to find out the current assets, so current assets, you all know it is 3.5. 3.5 divided by 2 multiplied with 60,000. Again, the current liability is also same. 1 divided by 2 with the same value of 60,000. Okay. The next one is very important to find out the debt equity ratio as well as the proprietary ratio. Okay. So the following figures are taken from the balance sheet of. Okay. So there is an information equity share capital. Before knowing these information, first know what should you need to be required to find out. So they've asked you to calculate the debt equity ratio. So always remember whenever they give the debt equity ratio, the debt equity ratio considers the debt. Okay. So debt is nothing but the debentures. Okay. Which will be divided with all the equity. Clear? All the equity or all the shareholders fund except the miscellaneous expenses as well as the losses. Okay. So this you have to find out. Know what is debt now. So 6% mortgage debenture. So this 50,000 is a debt. The first portion of information for the debt equity ratio is calculated. Now, to see towards what is the equity. So equity includes all the capitals, general reserves, as well as reserve for contingency, except whenever there is any current liabilities given, except any expenses or losses which is given, so which will be deducted here. So any current liability purely ignored, considering only equity information into consideration. And whenever there is any losses incurred, preliminary expenses is what? It is a kind of expenditure which is met before establishing any kind of business. So it is a kind of loss. So that should be deducted out of the equity here. So now we shall see. So equity share capital is given, 6% preference share capital, general reserves, reserve for contingency. So take this, these all comes for the equity. So which is also nothing but all the liabilities to outsiders, which is long term. Whenever they mention it as short term, that information will not be considered here. So less preliminary expenses 5,000. So you got the long term equity as 2,05,000. So now there is a 6% debenture, so 50,000. These two, by keeping these two information, you can find out the debt equity ratio. So debt is 50,000 and equity or the long liabilities to outsiders that you have already calculated by considering all the equity along with the reserves except the miscellaneous expenses. So deducted. So you'll get the 2,05,000 as the equity. So divided, now you got the debt equity ratio as 0.24. Okay. Now, so 14th one, from the following information, here also you need to calculate the debt equity ratio, and one more added to it, you are required to find out the proprietary ratio. Okay. So as the name suggests, it is a proprietary ratio. So proprietary includes the shareholders, which will be taken into consideration the assets. So debt, we have already discussed. The debt considers the debt along with the equity. You can also write it as debt divided by equity formula. Whereas the proprietary ratio considers the shareholders fund along with all the assets, total assets. There is no segregation here as the current assets and the fixed assets. The total assets will be taken into consideration. And ratio of total assets to debts. They have specified here total assets to debts. You need to calculate the one more as one of the calculation here. So now find out the debt equity information. So first of all, when you look into a debt equity ratio, see whether there is any debt. Debts is given as, instead of debentures, so here they are given it as long-term borrowings. So all the long-term borrowings will be taken here. So long-term borrowings as 1,50,000. Apart from this, now see what are the equity which are given for outsiders or a long-term. 3 lakhs. So equity share capital is taken. 6% share capital is taken. As well as general reserve, they have already deducted and given you 1 lakh. So 3, 4, 5. So 5 lakh will be the equity or long liabilities to outsiders. So which gives you debt equity ratio as 0.30:1. So debt equity ratio goes on for this way. And now proprietary ratio. Proprietary ratio, I told you, it considers all the shareholders fund along with the total assets. So which are the shareholders fund? So when you find out the debt equity ratio, you can aramse find out the proprietary ratio. See here, there is an equity or the liability of 5 lakhs. So which moves on for the shareholders fund, 5 lakhs. And total assets is already given here. So total assets, 7 lakh. So consider 7 lakh. So proprietary ratio is 0.71:1. Now it is also, you have to find out the ratio of total assets to debts. So total assets to debts you are going to find out. So total assets is given already 7 lakh and debts you have computed and taken into consideration as long-term borrowings as 1,50,000. So that becomes the debts. So 4.67 is to 1. Okay. So now, see, there is a discount on issue of share. There is a discount issue that will be deducted. Okay. See here, equity share capital is given. 6% shares debenture, general reserve. Debenture will become the debt for find outing the debt equity ratio. Debentures, along with there is also a long term bank loan. So 1,50,000 plus 2 lakhs. So that should be considered here. Not only the debenture, here debentures along with the bank loan or the long term will be considered. 2 lakh plus 1,50,000 gives you debt equity ratio. And you have to find out the proprietary ratio also. And a discount on issue of shares will be deducted. Out of what? Out of all the equities. So share capital 3 lakhs plus 2 lakhs plus 1 lakhs minus 50,000 will give you the equity. Clear? So now proprietary ratio considers all the shareholders' funds along with the total assets. So total assets is given here, right? So fixed assets and the current assets is given. Add together becomes the total assets. Clear? And there is a total assets to debts. Total assets are computed. Debt is 2 lakhs plus 1,50,000. So 3,50,000 is the debts. Take this as an assignment and do it, okay? Now, from the following, calculate the stock turnover ratio. This is a kind of other ratio that we are going to discuss. Till now, we have discussed with the current ratio, quick assets ratio, asset test ratio, and still moving on with the absolute turnover ratio that we have discussed, absolute liquidity ratio, and debt equity ratio, proprietary ratio, along with debt to assets or total assets to debt we have discussed. Clear? Now, there is a stock turnover ratio that should be computed. So, stock turnover, whenever there is a stock turnover ratio, it considers only two information. One is the cost of goods sold. What is cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold includes all the direct along with all the informations, and any purchases or any sales will be deducted. So see the information whichever is given here. So stock, and also it considers the average inventory. Average inventory means opening stock plus closing stock, which will be divided by 2. So total sales is given, written inwards. So written inwards is also nothing but the sales returns. So sales returns. So sales return should be deducted. So 3,50,000 minus 20,000. Stock at the beginning of the year is given, and also stock at the end of the year is given. So these two are the information for find outing the average inventory. And also there is a gross profit for the year 66,000. So what do we need here? The stock turnover ratio considers the cost of goods sold. So see the information which are given here. Sales is given. Out of the sales, we need only the cost information. So sales minus gross profit minus returns inwards. Clear? So sales is 3,50,000, gross profit as 66, and return inwards as 20,000. So now 2,64,000 is the cost of goods sold. Be very particular to find out the stock turnover ratio, because here the sales includes all the costs as well as the profit. So we are deducting the gross profit here. Sales is equals to, you can also take it as hint, sales is equals to cost plus profit. Plus profit. As we require only the cost, so sales will be minus with the profit. So sales minus profit, And also there is a information of returns, which means sales returns information is given here. So for that reason, that will be deducted. So we'll give you the cost of goods sold as 2,64,000 here. And next is to find out the average inventory. So average inventory, there is an opening stock as well as the closing stock, which will be divided with the 2 to get the average inventory as 33,000. So divide this one cost of goods sold along with the average inventory. So always remember the stock turnover ratio should be represented based on the number of times it occurs. Okay, it should be represented through times as only. Next is following particulars are available from the accounts of Mr. Rakesh. So see, before moving on to it, you need to find out the stock turnover ratio. So stock turnover ratio includes what? The cost of goods sold information along with the average inventory. Okay. And you are required also to find out the average holding period as well as inventory coverage period. This we have discussed. These two are the new concept here. Now see here. So what do we need? Cost of goods sold. The cost of goods sold includes the opening stock, direct expenses, purchases, as well as any direct expenses it may be, and it also includes the closing stock. So here, see, whenever there is the direct expenses, indirect expenses will not be considered. So which are the direct expenses? In case any carriage inwards is incurred, so carriage inward will be the direct expenses. Okay, whatever the item that you record in the trading account all comes under the direct expenses. So opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenses will be deducted from the closing stock. So interest paid is not appearing here because it is an indirect expenses. Clear? So cost of goods sold information you came to know. See, there is no stock here. There is opening stock as well as the closing stock. You can easily find out the opening stock and the closing stock. So divided by 2, you get the 12,000. So stock turnover ratio is 9 times. Clear? So now they have asked you to find out average holding period. What actually this average holding period is? Till how many days or how many here the stock will be retained in the business. So that is to be found out only through a information of stock turnover ratio. So ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಓವರ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದಿಸ್ holding average holding period for how many number of years that the stock will be retained or for how many number of days the stock will be retained to produce the work will consist under the average holding period. So average holding period includes 365 number of years divided by stock turnover ratio. So 41 days is the average holding period. So stock turnover ratio that you have computed 9 times. So divided by 9. So inventory coverage period is also nothing but 365 divided by stock turnover ratio. So it can also be indicated as either 41 days, either 45 days. 365 divided by 9. Okay. So now there is one more question. So these two seems to be the same. Inventory coverage period and average holding period seems to be same, but calculation is one and the same. But the meaning wise, if you take average holding period is for how many days the average, the stock will be held in the company. Inventory coverage period is nothing but for how many days the stock will be entered for production process. So that is also saved for by calculating the stock turnover ratio. Okay. So now in the 18th problem. So there is a cost of goods sold of 5 lakhs. Opening stock as 40,000. Closing stock as 60,000. Find out the inventory ratio. Inventory coverage period. So inventory ratio is also nothing but the stock ratio. Stock turnover ratio. So find out the cost. So it is very clear. Cost of goods sold is given directly. Opening stock as well as closing stock is given directly. No need to worry. And whatever the information you get, so that will be divided with 365. So 365 divided by whatever the value that you get it for the stock turnover ratio gives you the inventory coverage period. Clear? Now, from the given information, calculate stock turnover ratio. So stock turnover ratio. So if you're getting two confusions with the many number of formulas, have only the hint and study, okay? Whenever there is a stock turnover ratio, stock, it takes the average stock. So what is average stock? Opening stock and the closing stock. And also it takes the cost of goods sold information, that's all. Okay. So here, this is a kind of tricky question. See here, sales is given as 3 lakhs. Gross profit is 25% on cost. See, we know only the sales. So consider sales as, so profit is 25. So consider the sales as 100. So 25% on cost you need to calculate. You need to calculate the cost here first. And further, opening stock was 1/3 of the value of the closing stock. Closing stock was 30% on sales. So find out here the cost of goods sold. Formula to calculate the cost of goods sold is sales minus gross profit. So gross profit is 25% on cost. Let the cost be. So take the cost as 100. So profit is given here as 25%. So 100 plus 25 gives you 125 is the sales. When sales is 125, so profit will be 25 profit. So therefore gross profit is on sales, calculate 3 lakhs divided by 25 divided by 125. So 60,000 will be the profit. Now you know the sales. Sales as 3 lakhs and you have computed the profit 60,000. So 2,40,000 is the cost of goods sold. So closing stock is given as opening stock was 1/3 of the value of opening stock. So find out here cost of sales, you know, closing stock is 3 lakhs into 30% of the value of closing stock. So 30% gives you 90,000 and there is opening stock. Out of this opening stock, see, where is that 30%? Closing stock was 30% on sales. On sales, take the 30%. So directly you get the answer as 90,000. So now with the hint of this, they have told you opening stock was 1/3 of the value of closing stock. So find out the closing stock, then apply 1/3 value. So which gives you 30,000. So therefore, average inventory. So you are required to find out the stock turnover ratio, or it is also nothing but the average inventory. So find out by applying the stock turnover ratio. Cost of goods sold is calculated and also you have to find out the opening as well as the closing stock. So take the cost of goods sold as well as the average inventory. Average inventory is opening stock. So that is 90,000 plus 30,000 divided by 2, which is equals to 90,000 plus 30,000 divided by, so which is equal to 1,05,000. So 1,05,000 is the average inventory. Okay. So now you have to find out the stock turnover ratio. Stock turnover ratio, which is equal to, so cost of goods sold is 2,40,000. So 2,40,000 divided by, so average inventory is 1,05,000. So which gives you that 5,000 is 2.29, or it can be also written as 2 times. That's okay. Thank you.